So continuing on, writing polynomials in standard form. Okay, so we're going to look at the standard form of a polynomial containing only one variable is written with the terms in order of decreasing degree. The first term will have the greatest degree, the next term will have the next greatest degree, and so on until the final term, which will have the lowest degree. When written in this form, the coefficient of the first term is called the leading coefficient. Okay, this is super important. Make sure that you guys underline, highlight, circle leading coefficient. Okay, so 5x to the fourth plus 4x squared plus x minus 2 is a fourth degree polynomial written in standard form. Okay, so when we look at this, I'm just going to rewrite it. So go ahead and rewrite it with me. And let's go ahead and highlight the degrees. Do you guys see how we go 4, 2, 1, 0? We started with our greatest and we ended with our smallest. Okay? And so the leading coefficient is 5. So if you were to be asked what the leading coefficient of this is, of this polynomial is, it would be 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and write each polynomial in standard form, then give the leading coefficient. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and switch back. Again, I'm going to rewrite this. So we have 20x minus 4x cubed plus 1 minus 2x squared. Well, the first thing we need to do is identify what has the highest coefficient, or the highest exponent. Sorry about that. So we're going to see that we have a 3, we have a 1, we have a 0, and we have a 2. So I know that 3 is bigger than 1 and bigger than 0 and bigger than 2. And so I'm actually going to write it as negative 4x cubed. Well, 2 comes after or before 3, in this case after. So we do minus 2x squared plus 20x plus 1. Okay, so now that I have it written in standard form, I can actually identify my leading coefficient. My leading coefficient is always going to be this number here. And so I can write leading coefficient is negative 4. Okay, and that would be my answer, along with this, because we identified standard form. Okay, so now we're going to look at z cubed. Okay, so we're going to rewrite it. Z cubed minus z to the 6th plus 4z. So the first thing I want to do again is identify my exponents. And so I have 3, I have 6, and I have 1. Well, I know that 6 is going to be my biggest number, and so I'm going to rewrite that by putting it in standard form, which is going to be my highest degree to my lowest degree. So I have negative z to the 6th. Okay, I took care of that. Plus z cubed, took care of that, plus 4z. Okay, so now I know that I have it written in standard form. How do we identify our leading coefficient? What is our leading coefficient? Well, if we go back to our definition, the coefficient of the first term is called the leading coefficient. So I know that this is 1, 2, 3. So my leading coefficient is actually going to be negative 1. So the standard form is negative z to the 6th plus z cubed plus 4z, and my leading coefficient is negative 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's do 10. Let's do 7. We'll do 7 and 10. So if I rewrite this in order, well, first what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go, okay, I have 0 there. I have squared, I have to the 5th, and I have cubed. Well, I noticed right off the bat that my highest exponent is going to be 5. So I have x to the 5th, and then I'm going to move to my 3 here, plus 4x cubed minus 3x squared plus 10. Okay? So, in order to identify my leading coefficient, I'm going to number my terms. So I know that my coefficient here, so leading coefficient is 1. Okay? Because I have a 1 here. And I'm going to do the same thing for 10. So I have squared, I have 1, I have 0, 3, 4, and 0. What do you guys notice? You guys notice that if I combine like terms, right, because I have 2 constants, I can actually cancel them, okay? And so then I'm going to rewrite this according to my highest coefficient, which is going to be, or my highest degree, which is going to be 12b to the 4th plus 6b cubed minus 3b squared plus 2b. Okay, so again, I start at 4 and I go down to 1, right? So start with my highest or my greatest and go to my lowest or my least. Okay, and so now I'm going to identify my leading coefficient. So I have 1 term, 2 term, 3 terms, 4 terms. Well, my leading coefficient is always in my first term, and so I'm going to put leading coefficient is